In the 2003 film Malibu's Most Wanted, Brad Gluckman faces what many young people face: the quest to find his own identity. He thinks it's as B-Rad G, a brilliant in his own mind rapper. His senator father has other ideas about his identity and will do whatever it takes for both Brad and B-Rad to be neither seen nor heard. Welcome to Hip Hop Movie Club. This show is for Gen X hip hop fans who want to relive the glory days and reconsider classic and modern hip hop films from a current day perspective. Together, we'll explore some of the larger societal issues raised in these films. If you've seen today's movie before, then you'll learn some fascinating trivia you might have missed. If you haven't seen today's movie before, then we'll help you decide whether this film is worth your time. Either way, you'll be a smarter hip hop fan by the end of this episode. In the next 30 minutes or so, you'll get all this and more. We're three old heads who put their old heads together to vibe on these films for you. I'm Dino Wright, serial podcaster and student of film, and I once met Pharrell at Pat Steaks.
I'm JB, 80s and 90s nostalgia junkie, longtime hip-hop fan, and I recently performed the Beastie Boys' Paul Revere at a karaoke night.
I'm Boogie, a DJ, longtime hip-hop fan, and I once opened up a concert for Exhibit, The Far Ride, 112, and Phife Dawg.
In this episode, we'll answer the question: will B-Rad G rap his way to stardom, or will the senator rule the day?
In Malibu's Most Wanted, B-Rad is Brad Gluckman, the son of a senator who's now running for governor of California, who fears that his son is a distraction on the campaign trail, with Brad's aspirations of becoming a rapper and his glamorization of hood life. The campaign manager hires two actors to stage an abduction to bring Brad to an inner city neighborhood where he will learn to reform his ways. All right, Boogie, your introduction about opening a concert for Exhibit, Dafari, 112, and Phife Dawg. I need to hear about that story. It's more interesting than the movie.
So the Rider concert for spring 1999, I had the pleasure of opening up the concert. So what happened was SEC had their hospitality suite, which was over in that little room in Daly's. So I was walked over there and make sure everybody had everything they needed and everything. And when I got back, they had a hype man. I don't remember the guy's name because it was so long ago. He said, does anybody want to go out on the stage and get the crowd hyped up? And he was like, what? He's like, yeah, it's probably better to have somebody that the crowd will recognize, so that when they walk out, the crowd will recognize them and the crowd will get hyped up. And everybody immediately looked at me and like, Levi, you should go out there. I was like, okay. He's like, all right, so what's going to happen is, the music's going to start playing. You're going to hear the DJ playing music, and then we're just going to go out on stage, and we're just going to start telling everybody to go, throw their hands in the air and get hyped up and everything. So that's kind of what happened. And then as we went out there, we were running down who's going to be in the concert, and we were just going back and forth. He said a name, I say a name, he said a name, and I say a name. And we were just kind of getting the crowd hyped up. And then, that was pretty much it. But it was fun.
That's awesome. Did you get to meet Phife at all?
Absolutely did. I got to meet him afterwards.
Oh,
we talked to him for a little while. Real chill, down to earth. Yeah, he was really, really good guy. Like, just like very chill, very humble, very approachable. Like people just kind of chilling. Like people would just walk up to him and start talking, and he would just like. I remember my friend Raheem walked up to him, and Raheem is big into wearing at that time he was big into wearing sports jerseys. And, Phife Dawg is big in sports jerseys, and they were just talking like old friends about different jerseys and stuff. And it was like, wow, it's kind of cool.
That's amazing.
I got to hang out with Exhibit and those guys too. They were funny. Like they were a bunch of clowns. Like they had jokes and jokes and jokes. And I remember I was talking to them and they were like, "Oh, I guess I don't think I have an accent, but they picked up on it." They said, "Where you from?" I was like, "Oh, I'm from Newark." "Oh, the Brick City." Yeah. I'm like, yeah. But no, that was fun though. It was fun. Good times.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. I didn't know all the details there. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. No problem.
Good old days back at Rider University.
Absolutely. I met so many people there. Oh, man. I got a list of people I met there, from them to House of Pain. And, and I told this the Jay-Z story.
Yep.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I remember House of Pain being there, Danny Boy and Everlast, and yeah, that was dope.
Yeah, they were cool.
Yeah. All right. So get a little bit into Malibu's Most Wanted. There was actually so Jamie Kennedy is the star of the show. I think he helped put together this film. There's also starred Taye Diggs and Anthony Anderson, and they went on to much bigger and better things, and they had so many better roles. Do you think that they regret being in this film? What do you guys think?
I don't know if they would regret it because they were like I guess two of the bright spots in the film.
Yeah, they were the only good parts of this movie.
That's true.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed the scenes with the two of them in it, and I think that because they gave such great portrayals in the film, I don't think they would necessarily regret it. I could be completely wrong though, but from that perspective, I think because they actually delivered, I don't think that they would regret it.
They played the two actors that the senator hires to set B-Rad straight, and they're not any more hood than Brad.
He's more hood than they are.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Sean James and PJ were their roles, and yeah, they were trying to act tough, and they were tripping over each other in the process. Yeah, so that was the funny part. One of the few redeeming qualities of the movie. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of it. I do like lowbrow humor, and you'll get a little chuckle here and there, but I just thought the whole premise of the movie was lame. Like this white guy that's trying to be a hip hop star, and like for me, that's already been done. Like
Yeah,
the Beastie Boys, Third Base, Eminem, and in fact, the blockbuster movie that Eminem starred in and helped produce, 8 Mile, was released less than 6 months prior. So I don't understand this concept. Like, oh, it's a white guy that's trying to pretend that he's black or be more hardcore ghetto. I'm like, it's really cheesy beyond my liking.
absolutely.
So
Has some,
yeah, so it was tacky. I was wincing, grimacing
yeah,
the whole time.
Very cringe.
cringe. Yep, that's the word.
Yeah, like if you go back and watch it, I mean, we just rewatched it now, and I didn't really watch it when it came out, and I would not recommend this to anyone. And people looking at it like today would be like, man, we're so much more advanced and diverse, and color of your skin doesn't really matter like how you act. It's like, all right, the white guy that can talk with, different urban dialects and can rap. I was like, okay, what's the big deal? So like for me, it was it was like fingernails on a chalkboard for the whole 87 minutes. I was like, man,
How did we sit through this for 87 minutes?
yeah,
It's so funny because when we decided that we were going to review the movie, I remember like I don't think I've seen this movie. Like I remember the movie, but as I'm watching the movie, I'm like, this is why I haven't seen this movie. This is exactly why I haven't seen this
yeah,
movie. It's just as bad as I thought it was going to be.
This could have been a good movie. There could have been a good movie in this idea somewhere, in this concept about exploring why and how black actors deal with stereotypes of being black enough, or white people co-opting black culture, but instead they just rely on cheap stereotypes. I mean, that, and they waste a lot of comedic talent in this film.
Yeah,
I mean, look at the cast list. It's Taye Diggs, Anthony Anderson, Cal Penn, Terry Crews is in this movie, Blair Underwood's in this movie. I mean, Ryan O'Neal, is he a comedic actor? I don't think so, but they had like decent actors in this movie.
yeah.
What did
Regina
they do with them?
Hall, a whole bunch of talent wasted.
yeah. I'm a big fan of Cal Penn's from way back when he did Harold and Kumar. Then he was on House, and he worked in the Obama administration, had a very prominent role. Saw interviews with him, and I read his autobiography that was entitled "You Can't Be Serious" that just came out a year or two ago, and he indicated how miserable an experience it was to work on this film. And he played a stereotypical character from the Middle East, and he's Indian, and he hated every minute of it, and he definitely regrets being in it. He wish he could erase that from his resume just for that portrayal. But yeah,
Jeffrey Tambor. Jeffrey Tambor was in this movie.
yes,
Yeah.
Oh man,
I like Jeffrey Tambor. I remember him very well from the live action Grinch movie with star Jim Carrey. He played the mayor.
Yes.
He was hilarious in that. Yeah, I watch that every holiday season. So yeah, so these are established stars that have had a lot of success, and then this was just a terrible movie. So we're trying to think of other actors or actresses that are really good actors or actresses, and they were just in some terrible movies. It happens to the best of them. There were some examples that we found online, like Halle Berry's Catwoman, which after her successes in Monster Ball and a ton of other movies, that one kind of flopped.
Big
I never
time.
saw it. I heard how bad it was. I didn't bother.
I saw one scene of the movie. I remember she was on a basketball court and she was trying to dribble the basketball, and it looked so weird. I'm like, this is just horrible.
Like
And
Stanley in The Office.
and I love Halle Berry, like with everything in my soul. I love that woman, and I could not watch. I was like, I can't do this. I was like, I'm not watching this, and I've never watched more than that little. I think it was not even 5 minutes scene, like maybe 2 or 3 minutes of the movie. That's all I've ever seen of that movie ever. I refuse to watch it.
Yeesh.
Well, when there are like hundreds of Batman and Batman adjacent movies, there's bound to be some stinkers.
Batman and
that's one of
Robin
them.
comes to mind. George Clooney
Yeah.
as Batman. Good
Yep.
actor, bad movie.
Yeah.
Batman versus Superman. I think anyone involved in that was saddled with a terrible movie. Sorry, Henry Cavill. Sorry, Ben Affleck.
So speaking of Ben Affleck, he was in Geely, and that was regarded as one of the worst movies ever made.
J-Lo's done better than
That was with Jennifer Lopez too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yes. So I don't know if you call Ben Affleck a super talented actor, but Good Will Hunting that he helped produce, along with Matt Damon. That was a really good movie. They're to get back together in the new Air movie about the Michael Jordan and the Nike contract, which is getting some pretty good reviews, and I'm dying to see that soon. I heard that's coming out on streaming fairly soon.
Yep.
Maybe on Amazon. So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, I think it's got like a limited release in theaters, but it's going to mostly be on streaming, I believe.
And Meryl Streep, very talented and accomplished actress. Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, the sequel to the Mamma Mia.
I've met Meryl Streep.
Oh wow! Tell us that story.
So my man Chris, he used to curate shows at Joe's Pub in New York City, and her son goes by the name Henry Wolf, and he has a music career, and he played one of the shows, and she came, and Chris makes his famous brownies with a secret ingredient, not weed, and this was after the Julia Child movie she was in.
Okay.
Like soon after it came out, and of course Meryl Streep figured out the secret ingredient, not weed, that Chris puts in his brownies, and I was like, of course she would know what the secret ingredient is. I don't reveal the secret, but it's not weed. It really is not weed. Really nice lady.
I want to guess what it is.
Nice lady.
Like nutmeg or something. Nice lady. That's cool. I like when they're nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tech is played by Damian Dante Wayans.
Yes.
Nephew to the Wayans brothers, or nephew to comedy royalty. I don't know whose child he is, but
he's the sister, one of the sisters.
One of the sisters' kids.
Sons,
okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
One more thing about this movie is that it was written by 2 of the 3 creators of Mad TV. I think they've done better than Malibu's Most Wanted.
Nick Swardson was in this. Bo Derek too had little bitty roles, and they've been in better things. And Snoop Dogg made an appearance also. Mike Epps, which we've talked about in a lot of other movies.
Regina Hall, Niecy Nash, Kelly Martin.
Yeah, there's just some cringeworthy, a lot of cringeworthy scenes, as well as just the terminology. Like, I think they use the term wigger, which I just can't stand that
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
as a contraction.
Also
And,
very cringe.
yeah, and even in a joking fashion, he says, "I've been dizzown with the brizown," and I was just like, "All right, it's all played
Oh
out.
my
Come on
goodness.
now, come on."
Oof.
So this came out in 2003, April 18th, 2003. So what we've been doing recently is kind of let's talk about some of the good movies. What were the top grossing movies of 2003?
Yes.
And it's good to reflect on some of those. Disney worked its magic, and Finding Nemo was
Yes.
the top grossing film of that year. I love Finding
Finding
Nemo.
was a good one. I love that one.
Yeah.
Great movie. Yeah.
There was a Pirates of the Caribbean sequel, The Curse of the Black Pearl.
It's more Disney magic.
Yeah, where does yeah, Disney owns the rights there. And Lord of the Rings, Return of the King.
A terrific film.
The Matrix Reloaded.
Matrix Reloaded.
Mhm.
It was eh. It was eh.
Bruce Almighty. That was riding this Steve Carell popularity a little bit, or along with Jim Carrey. X2, X-Men United.
Never saw it.
It wasn't fantastic at all.
Sounds like I'm not missing much.
No, you're not.
Not one to catch up on.
Elf was up there. And rounding out the top 10, Chicago, the
I like that.
silver screen
Like
version.
Chicago.
Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines.
I
Okay.
think I saw this one.
And Bad Boys 2. Solid list. And as a hip hop themed podcast, some of the big hip hop tracks from 2003. In the Club by 50 Cent. Whew, that one.
Yeah.
All time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All time classic. Yep. Get Low by Lil Jon and the East Side Boys featuring the Yin Yang Twins.
Another classic.
Yep.
Yeah. Stand Up by Ludacris.
Yeah.
PIMP by 50 Cent. A couple of other big ones. Hey Ya by Outkast, which is a huge hit.
Yeah. Speaker Box Love Below album.
I remember hearing about that song. I read it in some sociology type book. They put that out on somebody's top 40 stations, and they were really reluctant to play it. They thought it was way too different and out there. And they were wrong.
Yeah.
They were like, they didn't really get it right. And then like eventually it got out there, but it should have been a hit even prior to
It's
like,
a good
became
pop
big hit
song.
from what I understand.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's more than just a hip hop
Yeah.
song, I think.
Oh,
I think it
absolutely.
crossed over. It was a really good pop song.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
It's so fun. I just heard it the other night at a party. Yep. I was trying to count the number of all rights he says. Ladies. Shake it like a Polaroid picture. It's iconic. Ignition remix by R. Kelly. Great song. Bad dude.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Through the Wire by Kanye West.
I like that one.
I remember that. That was about his accident and
Yeah.
his jaw wires shut. Magic Stick by Lil Kim featuring 50 Cent.
good song.
Beautiful by Snoop Dogg and Pharrell. I like that one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
There's some really good ones.
Nelly was big this year.
Nelly,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Air Force One, Shake Your Tail Feather. Yeah, a pretty good year for hip hop.
Oh, Work It by Missy Elliott. Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All Falls Down.
All Falls Down, a great song.
Yeah. Stacey Dash ain't been right since that video. That's my running
like the
joke.
third time we've said that in this.
Yep. That is my running joke. I'm sticking with it.
Yeah.
Put out a bolo for Stacey Dash. Where's she been at?
Oh, man.
This was a good year for hip hop. I have a bunch of these songs on some mixed tapes, which are actually CDs. When I used to burn songs myself, and I still have some of these discs. This is about the time when I used to make some mixtapes on CDs.
This was the mixed CD era.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
We're not making Spotify playlists yet.
This was Napster and LimeWire.
Yep.
Also known as Russian roulette for your PC.
Mm-hmm.
Get a VPN.
Malware.
Who was the Kazaa user? You guys, you Kazaa users?
Oh yeah, Kazaa, yeah.
I remember that.
Kazaa was
Yeah.
a good one.
I used Kazaa more than LimeWire.
Yeah, me too.
When Napster went down, Kazaa was the move for me.
I was afraid to use Napster because all the litigation came out like right away. LimeWire, I used to go to.
Yeah, that was some kind of period. Yeah.
I used to go to. I would go to some of my bold friends and give them a list of songs. I was like, hey, you've been doing this for a while. Could you give? I'll buy you a 50-pack of CDs. I'm gonna give you a bunch of songs. And would you make some for me?
Yeah.
So, my friend Nick used to make me a bunch of stuff.
Cue up my songs before I got ready for work. Before I got dressed to go to work, and then when I came back from work, I would just be like, "Oh, there they go."
Boy, that was 20 years ago. Woo-wee.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Yeah, I guess there's legality behind it. Was if you subscribe to some file sharing service and somebody had them out there, like you're paying for that service, even if it was just minimal, and you'd be able to get some songs. Tricky to navigate that world.
Very.
Right. For Malibu's Most Wanted, who else could have played any of these roles? I'm not even sure. Jamie Kennedy, B-Rad. Like I was confused a little bit. Like if they were kind of mocking Eminem a little bit, there were some things that like mirrored a little bit of 8 Mile.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who could play the role because you got to be just like a dopey guy that's just a buffoon.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one.
This was supposed to be somewhat of a parody of Eminem.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
As far as who could play this role, should we spend the brain energy to figure this out? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess someone like a Jim Carrey, someone that could just trip over themselves or something like that, that could possibly do it. But he would. Yeah. He's smart enough to not been involved in this production.
Whoever the successor is to Jim Carrey would be the person, but I don't even know who that is. Who's the new Jim Carrey? Who does that kind of very physical comedy?
It's a good question. I don't know if there's one I can think of.
Well, he has quite of a singular talent.
Yeah, Will Ferrell does a lot of physical comedy. He's getting up there, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like these guys, not quite the son of a senator kind of idea.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was thinking of like the frat pack type guys and stuff, and I just read somewhere that there's going to be a sequel to Dodgeball.
Oh wow!
Which I was excited about.
Wow.
I don't think Ben Stiller is going to be part of it, but Vince Vaughn and some of the other guys will be in it. So I like that one.
When I watched the movie, I thought, this, if you've watched Parks and Rec, I think the character of B-Rad is kind of like a proto, like Jean-Ralphio. And so maybe Ben Schwartz could be the next kind of like B-Rad. Because he does play that kind of like out there, kind of comedic kind of role.
I'm not super familiar with him. Yeah.
Oh, you haven't watched Parks and Rec?
No, I need to.
That's worth watching. Certainly more than Malibu's Most Wanted.
Yeah, so I heard.
It's before like zany, like out there kind of role is role on Parks and Rec. So I could see it.
You know who could actually have played something similar, like Nick Kroll? He does a lot of different characters. So
yeah, he's really good
actually
at that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
There was a show. He had his own show called the Kroll Show.
The Kroll Show. Yeah.
Short-lived. I used to love that. He would just jump from character to character. Remind me of like a male, like a Tracy Ullman.
Yeah.
Where different characters. And he had a guy, Caesar. He had a guy like a white guy with gold teeth, and he had that kind of persona. He also had a club goer named Bobby Bottle Service. So he could pull it off. Yeah. One of my favorite characters of his is called Jeff the Ref, and he's like an NBA ref. And he just walks with his belly out, and he's just saying nonsense things to the players, like, "Hey, where are we going after the game? We going to Sizzler? Where are we going? He cracks me up. He's gone on to a lot of great things. Yeah, I'm a Nick Kroll fan. He does some voice acting also. A lot of voice acting.
Out of it, yep.
Could this Malibu's Most Wanted be made into a series, like a Netflix series? I would say no. Please don't.
No.
Not necessary.
No, I think people would tire of it. Yeah, not necessary.
Yeah, it was tiring for 87 minutes about a whole Netflix series.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, I don't want to see a backstory or anything further with that. Yeah.
Trying to just throw some money away by all means, but it's not necessary.
Send me the money.
This is kind of no-brainer, but let's go around and let's do a rating. So, Boogie, bring that funky flick back.
Bring that funky flick back.
Or leave it in the vault.
Please, God, please leave it in the vault. Go to vote in the Mariana Trench. Check it over.
Dino, right? What's your rating? Bring that funky flick back or leave it in the vault?
Leave it in the vault. Put it under the jail.
Yeah, and leave it in the vault. Lock it up, throw away the key. We do not need this one.
Should I even bother reading through the credits? Not even,
you don't have to.
Worth it.
B-Rad was B-Ad.
That's right. B-Ad.
That should be the last word of this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was profitable though somehow. Budget was 15 mil and they made 34 million in the box office.
How did they do it?
People were bamboozled. Hoodwinked, led astray. Run them up.
Plymouth Rock is on this movie. Bamboozled. Malcolm X be spinning in his grave.
Oh, man.
Hip Hop Movie Club is produced by your HHMCs, JB, Boogie, and Dino Wright. Theme music by Boogie. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Hip Hop Movie Club. On the next episode of the Hip Hop Movie Club podcast, your HHMCs review Hamilton. It drops in 2 weeks. Subscribe today in your favorite podcast app and you won't miss it. Shout out to you listeners. Thanks for tuning in.
And remember, don't hate, fascinate.
Fascinate.
Feeling fascination.
Yes.
Who did that song? I can't remember. 80s. One Hit Wonder, maybe?
Oh.
I gotta look it up now. Human League.
Human League, yeah.
Okay, they're not One Hit Wonders. I like Human League. I like they had a few good hits. Yeah.
Shout out to Brain Freeze Trivia in the Lehigh Valley. Check out the Instagram, brain_freeze_trivia_time. That's Brain Freeze Trivia time on Instagram.